Good morning, it's Ada Sparks for the Word of Hope. Last night, like many people, probably thousands of people across the nation, if not the world, my son and I went looking for the Star of Bethlehem. We were in the city, and so we were trying to get away from the city lights, and we drove like crazy people trying to get away from the lights, and we thought, well, let's go to a park. Well, turns out they were having some kind of Christmas thing in the park, so there were tons of people. We got caught in this line of people, and my son was like frantic, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. So we turned around hurriedly, and then we got caught up in traffic. We ended up pulling over on the side of the road, and he had his compass out and had it pointed at just the right direction. One point we were in a neighborhood, in a school parking lot. We pulled up next to some other people that were out of their vehicle looking at the sky, and we were like, are y'all looking for the star? And they were like, yeah, we think that's it over there. And we were like, that's not it. And then we, like I said, pulled over on the side of the road. We had the compass out. We had it pointed at the sky. And finally, we found it. So then we just sat looking at it, and we were like, well, that's it. That's the star that the wise men saw right here by Mac's Fresh Market. And then my son says, now what do we do? I was like, I don't know. We saw it. And we're like, well, let's just look at it for a few minutes. And then we went on with our evening. Matthew 2:2 says that the wise men said, where is this king? We saw his star, and we've come to worship him. And I guess that's the question that I have for us today is, what do we do after we see his star? Once we realize who God is, what do we do? What do we do with that? So many of us have an encounter with God. We realize who he is. What do we do with that? Do we just look at the star and go about our business? Do we realize who he is and put it back in drive and go on with our evening? Do we stop and worship him? Do we stop and give him glory? Do we stop and do like the wise men did and say, we've seen the star, now we want to worship? Do we stop and say, God, you're amazing, and you're powerful, and you're glorious, and you're a healer, and you're the same yesterday and today and forever. We've seen the star. What are we going to do after the star? Be wise, not afraid.